Hi everyone, and welcome to our Wednesday encouragement. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Mine included a little reminder about human nature and our desire to push the line on right and wrong. And it came from a 3-year-old. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But first I want to remind you of a couple of things that are going on at Cherry Avenue Christian Church this month. This Sunday, December 6th, the junior and senior high youth are having a bonfire and game night at the Martin's house at 5 o'clock. So make sure all of your teens are there for that. It's going to be a lot of fun over at the Martins this Sunday. And the next day, Monday, December 7th at noon, the Thelma Carter Circle is going to have their Christmas party. So ladies, if you plan to attend, please let Carol know as soon as possible because they're ordering box lunches and need to know how many to order. And so I hope you can be there for that. And December 13th, we'll have our annual congregational meeting to approve the budget for next year, and that will be immediately after the 10 o'clock worship service, so somewhere around 11 o'clock, 11:05. And don't forget our Candlelight Service on December 20th at 6 p.m. We're going to have our special kickoff to Christmas week with a lot of music and worship, and it's going to be a very special night, so please make plans to be here for that. And if you can't be with us on Sunday mornings at 10, I hope you'll join us for our church-wide time of prayer at 9:30, where we lift our voices together in prayer, even while we're apart. There's a prayer guide on the website if you want to use that, so please join us for that each week. And I want to thank you again for your faithfulness in supporting the church through all the COVID-related stuff, from the shutdown to the present. You've been so generous, and we're very grateful for that. Well, we continued a great tradition in the Martin family this past week, as after the Thanksgiving feast, we gathered around my mom's Christmas tree for our tradition of the great-grandchildren decorating the tree, and the grandchildren and children counting off and cleaning up the dropped and shattered ornaments. 1, 2. This year was a record. Only about 6 were broken. And of course, there was the traditional commenting of the grandkids about how grandma would never let them hang the breakable ornaments. Ah, good times, good times. Well, the other tradition is my son Brett setting up the train track that goes around the Christmas tree and getting the remote controlled train ready for the younger kids to play with. And after the initial setup and playing for a while, somehow the train got knocked off the track and the tracks got messed up. So Brett dutifully put it back together. But when the kids were messing around with it, he warned them. He said, look, I'm not putting it back together again, so don't touch it, just run the train. Well, of course, the 3-year-old was sitting next to the tracks, and every time the train came around, she had to at least let her finger graze it. And she looked at us. And we'd warn, Emmeline, don't touch it, or you won't be able to play with it anymore, because we're not going to put it back together again today. And she'd nod, and the next time it came around, she had to touch it again. And we'd warn her again. And the next time it came around, she touched it again and knocked it off the track. See, she knew what not to do, and she did it anyway. And she's in good company. She's not alone. The Apostle Paul said, I have the desire to do what is good, but I cannot carry it out. For I do not do the good I want to do, but the evil I do not want to do, this I keep doing. And I don't know about you, but I find myself saying that very thing all the time. I know what I should do and want to do, but I don't do it. I know what I shouldn't do and don't want to do, and that's the very thing I do. There's just something in our nature that wants to push the line. But that's the hope of Christmas. Jesus came to earth, God as a human being, to save us from the guilt of that sin and to give us His Spirit to live in us, to help us to have the power over that nature within us that just wants to knock the train off or tell that lie or make that sarcastic comment. Fill in your own blanks. Since we had said we weren't putting the train back together, the kids tried to get it back on the track themselves. And surprisingly, they got it partway back on, but with part of it dragging along, slowing it down, and making a lot of noise, which is kind of like what it's like when we try to do things on our own power and not keeping in step with the Spirit. But the good news of Christmas is that we don't have to live that way, because Jesus came to earth to bring us forgiveness, power, and hope. Now, if there only something that we could do about all the broken ornaments.